There
Because
we
it's
go.
there we are. Because it's the weekend, right, or a few days right before 4th of July, I had people reach out and be like, I want to take the class, but I'm actually going out of town and can't be on live. So I promised them that I would record it. All right, let's go back to sharing. And okay, there we are. All right, so as I was saying, this is the exact day, half of the year. We're exactly halfway through. And no matter what has happened so far in your year, today is the day that you get to start fresh and make sure that the end of the year ends how you want it to. So we're going to go over things today. We're going to come up with our strategy for the end of the year based on what we know so far from what's happened in the first part of the year. A lot of agents are having to increase their lead gen activities to get the results that they want. Has that been your guys' experience?
Say
Has it
that
been a
again.
slow finding that you have to do more of your normal lead gen than you're used to in order to have the same results? We got
I
a
would say
little,
that's correct.
yeah, we've got a little bit of a, it's not necessarily a down market, but we've definitely been in a shifting market where, the buyers are concerned about affordability. Sellers are concerned about selling and, getting rid of their low interest rate and going into a higher interest rate. Buyers are more picky, so we're having transactions fall apart. So it's definitely been a more challenging year for real estate. I've got a gal I coach that's in the right outside of Atlanta, and her market has completely slowed down. They're like 60 days on market, and she's pulling her hair out. So I know in California where you guys are at, it's not as challenging as that, but there is some challenging things going on. So I wanted to put this on today so we made sure that we were looking at what's going on and getting our plan together. All right, so your calendar versus your bank account audit. We're going to get right down to the truth of it all. And I want you to pull up your calendar. So if it's Google Calendar, if you got your paper calendar, um, pull it out. Most agents are looking at their bank account as the judgment of how their business is doing. Like, do I have income in there? And the bank account is what is a report of the past, shows what's been going on. Your calendar is going to give us an idea of what's going to happen in your future. Real estate is a 90-day business. And so if you don't have any transactions going right now, it's an indicator of what you were doing 90 days ago. So if your business isn't where you like, we'd ramp those activities up, and we're going to focus on building that plan out today. So look at your calendar, and I want you to circle all of the revenue producing appointments or activities that are on there going forward. Do you have your calendar time blocked out?
I do.
Awesome. So if you're looking at your calendar, how many revenue producing appointments are on there?
Well, you mean for the whole month? I have one a week on my calendar now based on my current schedule.
Okay.
Is this considered revenue, this meeting? Or
Nope.
only like listing
This is
appointment?
not a
Like,
revenue
yeah,
appointment.
yeah,
So this is training.
yep,
Yeah. So a revenue appointment is going to be lead generation time,
yep. I have once a week for 2 hours.
and it's going to be meeting with clients,
And then
out
I have,
showing property,
mhm,
going on listing appointments. Those are all revenue producing
mhm.
activities.
Well, I have in the calendar, but there's nothing in there.
Okay. take a look
Well, I
of
mean,
the,
I've got two other businesses rolling and one that I just stopped and lots of things going on. So now's the go point for all of that to be filled for the time that I
awesome.
have available, which is, you know, more
Yeah.
open than it was, as you know,
Well,
for
and we'll
myself.
go over that in your one-on-one on making
Yeah.
sure, we've got your scheduled time blocked around
Yeah.
your other business. And take a look at the past 30 days. How many revenue producing appointments were in your calendar? Just make a note of
Am I the only one here? Was everyone else participating, or are we talking out loud, or are we just doing it?
they're doing it.
Okay.
So just make a note of that. I want you just to be aware of how many revenue producing appointments are on it for the next 30 days and where you were at 30 days ago. And if your business isn't where you want it to be, then we need to look at ramping that up.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of agents fall into the busy versus productive trap. So I hear a lot of times, well, I'm busy, I'm doing lots of things. And then when we really look at your calendar and we dive into what you're actually doing, you're getting stuck in the busy trap, making the perfect open house flyer, spending a lot of time on social media, doing these posts, social scrolling, inbox management, um, planning to get ready, and not actually focused on the most important things, which is that lead gen activity. And we're going to go over the different types of lead gen and make sure that you have your plan for what you're actually doing. But I want you to be conscious of where are you spending your time? And the calendar will tell you. And if you don't have anything on your calendar and you're not time blocking, that's an indicator as well of, oh, I'm just letting my time just go about how it's coming at me and I'm not actually planning, which means you're just going to be running yourself ragged and your business is running you. You're not running your business. So every Sunday, I sit down and I look at my past week and I ask myself what went really well, what didn't go well, what didn't I get to, what needs to move forward for the week. And I plan my future week, rolling everything over and making any adjustments that need to happen. So time blocking every Sunday has been my habit. Sunday works well for me. You might choose to do it on Friday, whatever day that works best for you at the end of the week. Sit down, look at your calendar, and plan accordingly moving forward. Any questions?
Nope. That's good.
All right, the DTD2 system. Has anyone heard me talk about this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So the DTD2 tagging system is all about the database. And so I want you to think about the database. It's the one system that every agent must be having and must work. You have multiple ways of generating business, but your database is going to be your highest rate of return and the one that most agents skip over. They get caught in doing open houses, working social media, going out and doing networking events, and they skip over their database. So there's a system, and I'm going to skip over here to this cheat sheet where I want you guys to really be able to use your database and keep it organized. And so there's a tagging system called the DTD2 tag. It's who you contact weekly. Every contact should have 3 tags. And I'm going to email this out to all of you guys after the session today. So you'll have this handout so that you don't have to make notes on this or remember this. But the DTD2 stands for do the database to. The 2 stands for the letters of the last name. So you're going to create these tags in your database. It's called A and W. Week 2 is B&E. Week 3 is D&O. And so if you were sitting down to do this system today and you were starting today and you had all your tags done, you would pull up the tag A and W. And that's going to give you a handful to maybe 20 people to call for the week. This is a way of organizing your database so it's not overwhelming for you to be able to call through them all and have a phone call with everybody once a quarter. Yes, I want you setting up your email drips. Yes, I want you doing texts. I want all of that to happen, but don't skip the phone calls. So many of us rely, and I'm guilty of it as well. It's so much easier to send off a text than it is to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. You know, it's funny. I was just laughing with one of my girlfriends. She lives in Austin, and how we've gotten to where nobody just picks up the phone and calls anymore.
Yep.
That it's like, hey, are you available for a phone call in 30 minutes or texting, even between friends? Like, hey, can you hop on the phone in 15 minutes? Scheduling out time to talk on the phone. Back in the old days, we just picked up the phone, and if you answered, great. And if not, then you left a voicemail. So don't rely just on your text messages and your emails. Make sure that you're having those phone calls and being able to have real life conversations with your database. So these are the,
Amber,
yeah,
just a note here. I'm so guilty of this because I'm a full-on texter all the time. But if I so I started call my assignment, I think last month when I was
yes.
calling people, and I just want to share this story. People were like, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong?" Like people thought things were wrong because I'm not a caller. And so everyone's like, "Oh, okay, well, hi, how are you?" But like they had this
Yeah.
relief mode, and I thought, okay, I need to send a text first saying, "Hey, are you free this afternoon? I'm going to call you or something." Because when
Yeah, you
I
don't want to worry them, right?
right after 10 phone calls of that, I'm like, I'm not doing it this way. So then I texted people telling them I'm going to call them, and then I called,
And then they were ready for the call. That's awesome. Yeah, that's
but
where
it panicked people. And I think we don't really live in a world of people
You
picking
don't.
up the phone
You're
and
right.
calling each other
You're right.
anymore. So, like, prepare your people. That's all I'm saying.
and good for you, Lynette, for doing your, database calls. I know that's been something you and I worked on, and you've got 400 people in your database, and you made all those calls. And it's nice to have those conversations. People really enjoy once you do have that call, like, oh, she actually cares about me, So, the first tag is the DTD2 tag. The next tag is the timeline tag when they will transact. Now, if you don't know if they're going to do a transaction, just tag them as later, 1 year plus. Um, if you know that they're considering selling, then you're going to tag them accordingly, or buying. If they're an open house lead, you can then figure out, okay, are they buying within 0 to 3 months? Are they going to be in a 3 to 12 month tag? Um, and then tag all your referrals. Anybody that has sent you deals in the past. Um, and I actually add one in here. I need to update this. I actually have a 3 to 6 month and then a 6 to 12 month. So I don't go 3 to 12 months. I have one in between that. And then reach out to people about 2 months before they tell you they're going to transact. As it never fails, they tell you, oh, yeah, Cecilia, they're going to buy. I'm ready to buy in 6 months. And then you call and check on them at that 6 month mark, and they already bought a house.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, hey, I thought it was 6 months. Well, they found one and they bought it in 4 months. So we don't want to just push them off and not communicate with them until right before they say they're ready, because people get excited and they're like, they fall in love with a house, right, Lynette? Where they're like, oh, we're not buying till the fall. Wait, I found one. So we do want to be checking in periodically and not just waiting until that timeline. But this gives you an idea of like, okay, yeah, I've got people that are going to be buying or selling in the next 3 months, and it gives you who you should be talking to sooner versus later. Then the last tag is the relationship tag, how you know them. Past client, friend, family, golf, church, kids, school, salsa dancing, investor. This allows you to be able to pull everybody that you know from church and be able to send them a more customized message. It allows you to pull your family out of your email drips so that they're not getting bombarded with all this real estate stuff. Now, you do want to send your family real estate stuff because I've had it where distant family, I've had agents come to me and say, my cousin didn't use me. They didn't know that I was in real estate. And I was like, well, were they on any of your communications? Have you talked to them? People assume that our family just knows because they saw that we got licensed. Well, sometimes they forget. So make sure your family is tagged in there. And that allows you to be systematic with who you're communicating with. And when you sit down to your lead gen time, which we're going to get into our time blocking here in a minute, but when you sit down to your lead gen time, it should not just say lead gen on your calendar. It should be specific about what you're doing. And every single one of you should have database calls on your calendar at least 4 days a week.
Say that again?
You should have database calls specifically on your calendar at least 4 days a week.
Time permitting.
So if I was to look at your calendar, I don't want just to see lead gen. I want to see database calls.
Okay.
You can even be more specific about this week. Because you're going to have the tags of the A and W on your calendar. It can say A and W tag. So the daily database system is being able to go into your database at the beginning of the day. I get asked this question a lot of when's the best time to call. The best time is when you're willing to do it. You'll find your own rhythm. We recommend 9 to 11 just because it gets done at the beginning of the day. I know Lynette has adjusted her schedule to be in the afternoons because that works best for her. And she actually does it. So whatever it is that you decide, make that time. But 4 days a week, you're calling in your database and I'd block it for an hour. Now, do not get distracted with those calls and get into follow-up items from the phone call. Your time block for a call block of an hour, you're making calls and you're making notes on what needs to happen for follow-up. And after that call block, you have a follow-up time to do anything that came up in the call.
That's okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you talk to somebody that says, oh yeah, I want to sell my house, and you're like, yay, exciting, get the appointment all set, and then you go in and you start comping that house and you start doing all the follow-up from that call, you won't get to all of your calls. So you do your calls and then you have a time block after that for all of your follow-up. Make sure that when you're doing your phone calls, your database is up, you're making your notes, and then you always have a follow-up from that day. So if you just talk to them today, in 3 months from now, if nothing came up on the call that you need to do, then you're going to make a task for you to call them in 3 months. That way the system is going to start reminding you of who to call. Here's on here has, a no answer text. So once you call, then you text them. And this is just, you don't need more leads. You need to work the relationships you already have. You have enough business in your database in order to generate 10 deals if you've got 200 people in there. So that's what I want to do next is let's go ahead and pull up your calculators. And if you don't know exactly how many people are in your database, we're going to make a guess. If you know how many people are in the database, then you're going to use your specific number. If you're on the low side, we're going to use a 5% number, but on average, what we see from an agent that consistently communicates with their database, and the consistency part is what we're going to build out next. Consistency, they say 36 times in a year. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Out of those 36 touches, 4 of those are phone calls, and that DTD2 system gets that 4 phone calls out. So on average, we see 8 to 10% conversion from a database that's been consistently worked. So take your number of contacts and let's just play with 400 because I know that's what Lynette has. And say you only get 5%. So multiply it by 5%. That's 20 deals, Lynette. 20 transactions just from consistently working your SOI and your database. Now, say you only have 100, which a lot of agents, when they first start out or they're just getting back into business, they kind of be like, I don't have anybody. I really don't have a database. I don't want to talk to the people in my phone. Then usually, though, they have at least 100 people through, past jobs, friends of their kids' parents. You go through your cell phone, and most agents can find at least 100. So 100 times 5%, that's 5 transactions. Just with doing nothing else. So who wants to share their database number?
I have 1391.
1391?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 1391 times 5%. That's 69 deals, Elisa.
Yeah, no, I know. It's not, we know this.
Yeah.
It's not the problem.
It's not the problem. That's right. You have enough leads.
I
We're
know.
just
If I
not
never
doing
talk to another
follow-up, and
stranger.
we're not working them.
Yep, absolutely not. But
So
it's a
I
new
do,
day.
yeah. So I do this exercise to show agents that, even if you did nothing else outside of just communicate with your database, you've got business in there waiting for you. Now, that consistent marketing 36 times a year, your first year of real estate, you might not hit those numbers because it needs to be marketed to for a whole year. But all of you guys are planning on being business more than just this first year.
Yes.
So you start with your database, you start communicating to it, and it's also predictable in what you can plan for. So in these summer months, it gets challenging to plan for things. You've got family vacations going on, your clients have kids home from school. There's a lot of things that happen in the summer. And then you roll into the holiday season, which is why I like to do this planning session at this time of year so that we make sure that we've got our awareness around, okay, summer, there's going to be busy, like people are busy. So we need to plan and time block our calendars accordingly. The database, that is something that you can plan for, whether you are here, whether you're on vacation, you can still get to your database calls. I know Brian took a trip to see his grandson, and he's very active in his database. And he went ahead and did, text messages and, just reach out calls to make sure that he was still maintaining those relationships. And when you are on vacation, you want to be on vacation. So, don't fill it up with a whole bunch of database calls, but it can be done from everywhere. All right. Any questions on the database and how many deals can be produced just from that one activity?
No.
Awesome. Okay, let's get back in here. So the DTD2 tagging system, it's a 3-tag system for your database. You're planning out your phone calls, and you're going to build a customized email drip. And if you don't already coach with me, you can book a call with me and we'll customize it to you. I am not a fan, if you do coach with me, I'm not a fan of the generic CRM boilerplate emails that get blasted out. We want to customize it to you, your personality, what your ideal client is. And there's a whole process, and I actually have a prompt in here that I'll share with you that will help you customize your email campaign along with your text messages.
Cool.
Quick question, Amber.
Yeah.
So with the email, I think I had forgot to ask you on our one-on-one, since it's been so long since I've even sent an email, is that what you mean by the custom one for even the first one? And then when I tag them in the system, do I turn it off until I'm ready to do the emails, the mass
So
email?
you can do your tags, but you're not going to have a campaign set up until and the very first touch for your campaign, Cecilia, will be I'm back. I'm
Okay.
focused on real estate this year, letting your database know like that you're here to help and support them.
Okay.
So we'll build that campaign out with that as your first touch.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. All right. So we always have our database going. That is one lead generation lever that all of you guys will have. This exercise is helping you map out the touches that you can do with your database the second half of the year. So take your piece of paper, list the months left in the year. We're beginning of July. So we have July, August, September, October, November, December. Make sections for each month. So line out your blank piece of paper and write the months down. Next from there, add the holidays in each month. So July, we have 4th of July, and I know that's 2 days away. So unless you plan something already, you won't be doing anything for 4th of July for the holiday. You're going to be in business next year, so plan what you would do for the 4th of July, and you'll have that system already set up. When you build these things, it's not something that you're going to have to rebuild next year. What we do at the end of the year with all my coaching clients, we start meeting in October, planning for the next year. And one of the things we look at is the marketing that happened, the events that you did, and what the holiday touches were, and if you want to repeat that for the next year. The first year of business, sometimes you're planning everything out and it feels like you're drinking from a fire hose of like, man, I just got this done. Now I'm running to the next one. Next year, it won't be that way. There's relief coming. So for July, you've got the 4th of July. August, there's not a holiday. Well,
My birthday.
is it Memorial Day in August?
It's this September.
September, yeah. September 2nd, I think, right?
Labor Day.
Labor Day, yes, thank you. So we have that for September. August is back to school month. September is the start of fall. You have Labor Day, October, Halloween, November, Thanksgiving, and December is Christmas.
Veterans Day too.
You forgot Grandparents' Day. That's very important, Amber.
That
Grandparents'
is.
Day. It's in September.
My first year celebrating that.
For those who
that's
don't know,
right.
congratulations to Amber.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
The third thing you're going to do is go back to in each month and pick a topic, choose one part of the transaction, and you can jot something down right now and then go back to this later. So one part of the transaction that you're going to educate your database about. So maybe it is on closing cost credit. Maybe it's on the inspections that get done. Maybe it's on pricing of the home. How an appraisal works.
That's super cool. I love that.
Yeah, so choose one part of the transaction, and every month you're going to send something out on that.
I love that.
And then your last thing in each month is going to be highlight a local business or event for that month. So those of you with EXP on Derek's team, we do the mixer, which I know he'll be having another one of those. That's a client event. So you guys can, talk about that. I know Lynette's going to be doing an event in the beginning of November. So she would have that in November, your pie event. I know Brian, you do a pie event, and Brian's got a Pops in the Park event that he's doing every month in his farm. I know he might be off the call by now. He had an appointment he had to go to in Lodi. But he has been really working his farm this year. And one of the things that he decided to do was there's 3 different parks in his farm area. So he does otter pops, and he's been advertising that to the farm, and then put out community signs. And he had his first one last weekend. And so we got to meet all kinds of people from the community and passed out otter pops. And so he's doing that once a month for the summer. So in his chart, it's going to have June, July, and August. He has those events. If there's not an event that you're doing, maybe there's an event going on in your area that you want to feature. The movie nights that happen in the parks, different events that are going on community-wise.
Something local.
Something local. And if there's not an event, then, and I might switch it up of like, okay, this month's an event. Next month, I'm going to feature a local business. Or maybe a favorite spot you like to visit, a gym, a restaurant, those kinds of things. So in each month, now you have, most of them have a holiday. Then you've got something about real estate, and you've got something local to blast out in an email or a text message.
I love it. That's great.
Good. What it allows you to do is be able to map this out. It takes a little bit of time to set it up, but then imagine just next week being able to line everything out, get it uploaded into your CRM, and then set up on a drip, and now it's just done, and you don't have to think about it. Then you can be out for the summer at the beach or on the lake, and your database is getting communicated to.
Beautiful.
That's what we call a system. Any questions on this?
Nope.
Awesome. And if you want help strategizing out, oh, whoops, where did I'm missing a slide. Oh no. Okay, well, I'll just go over it. See if I can pull it up. If you want help breaking this down, just set up a call with me. Or if you want to get it all done and then email it to me, I'm happy to review it. Oh, I did want to share. This is an idea I came up with several years ago, and it's called the gratitude pumpkin. Here's a picture of it, what it looks like. So this is something that I've had agents do over the years where they drop off little pumpkins to their like top priority clients, because pumpkins can get a little bit expensive. If that's not in your budget to buy pumpkins for everyone, you could even do just a handful of them. Or you can just send an email out and post on your socials about the gratitude pumpkin and how to do it. So the gratitude pumpkin you buy at the beginning of November, and it sits with a Sharpie on your table, and your family members and anybody that comes over to visit writes down something that they're grateful for. And then this becomes the centerpiece on your Thanksgiving table.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So it's something different that a lot of people haven't heard about. And so even just sending the email out to your database with the idea,
I like that.
it's very low cost. It makes you unique. And then also doing Thanksgiving cards versus Christmas cards, or you could do both. But a lot of times, if you do a card late in Thanksgiving in November, you're going to be the first card that shows up of the season. So those are two things that I really enjoyed doing. And then I've had agents do over the years, and everyone loves these gratitude pumpkins. Let me see if I can find that slide with the lead gen on it. Here it is. See if it will pull up. Oh, shoot. I don't want it to do it that way. Let's go this way. Thank you guys for your patience as I fumble through the slide deck. So the database, the next thing we're going to go over is the other options that you have in order to generate business. So every agent should have the database. A lot of you guys do social media, so I find that's the second leg of business. And then you have a third leg. The goal is to build out 4 legs so that your business is stable and that you've got multiple ways of bringing in business. But as a newer agent, you're going to be building out these legs one at a time. So you start with your database, then you're going to add in a second leg. So if that's open houses, if it is, here we go. If it's open houses, if it's expires, if it's FISBOs, if it's networking events, you don't want to try to build out everything all at once. You want to be able to go, okay, I'm going to tackle open houses, and that's going to be my thing. And I'm going to get really good at doing open houses. And when you're generating the amount of business that you want from that, then you can add in another leg of lead generation. And in order to know if it's going to be your thing, you've got to give it 90 days. So you have to pick one lead generation lever in addition to your database. I recommend it not be, if you're gonna choose social media, then you need to go all in on social media, not just posting once a day. That doesn't count as a lead gen lever. What social media would look like is like you're posting 3 to 5 times a week educational videos, you're on social media messaging 20 people a day, you're commenting on their pages. Like that is a full lead generation under a social pillar. Posting once a day in your story doesn't count. Okay.
What's your feeling about networking?
I love networking.
Okay.
I think
Yes,
that's
you're right.
great.
That's my thing.
It allows you to get out, meet a bunch of people at once. And so if networking is going to be your thing, then you
Yes.
need to be doing, you know, probably 2 to 3 networking events a month to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And then we track everything. So we're tracking how many people am I talking to at those networking events? How many people am I getting their information on? Am I able to get contact information from those networking events so I can put it in my database? And then am I getting any business from it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we're doing that
So
concurrently
picking,
with the database for 90 days, and then we're going to look at our
yep,
progress. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So you've got a lot of people to call, Lisa, in that database. So that is going to give you plenty of things to work on.
Yep.
And then I know for you, new home builds is going to be the next thing.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
but on this slide here gives you different ideas of lead generation ideas of what to choose in addition to the database.
Cool.
Community open house invites, so doing open houses, expired FISBO calls, door knocking, farming, joining the networking group, going through and door knocking a neighborhood off of a just sold or a just listed house that's in the area that you want to work. So pick, if you've done your database already, you're going to keep running that, but pick one lead generation lever that you're going to just focus on for the next 90 days. And then we're going to time block it into our calendar. So this is a example of what your calendar might look like. Now, this agent failed because if agents that coach with me know that I'm a stickler on this. What's wrong with this calendar? Any
It's not
guesses?
saying specifically what they're doing.
Correct. Yes. So it's not saying specifically,
That's what my calendar looks like right
right?
now.
That's what
Yeah.
most agents' calendars look like. So
Yep.
I leave the slide this way to show what I don't want. So lead gen, I want it to specifically say what you're doing. So you're going to have in there database call, your tag. If you're doing an open house, it's going to say, you know, on Friday night or Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to see the open house on there. And then prior to doing the open house, I might see door knocking 50 doors around that open house, door knocking 100 doors around the house. I would see on here the social media marketing that happens prior to the open house, designing the digital packet on week 3, 2. We're going to do a full class on open houses. And I've got a full system on how to do open houses, of how to generate appointments, not just leads from that open house. And so we're going to do a whole overview on how to do an open house. I think open houses are a great way to generate new clients. They're coming to you. They're interested in real estate. And it's an easy, fast way to convert people. So your lead generation activities are going to be in green. Your personal activities, I put my personal activities in my favorite color. So mine are all purple. And then appointments, you're going to preset when you're available for appointments. I'm not saying that you're not going to move them around because the client, maybe they need to meet and you don't have an appointment time set at that time. They're not available during your preset appointment times. But I want you having time block because you should be going on 1 to 2 appointments every single week as a full-time agent. So if you have them set on your calendar, then you can use the script of, I have Thursday at 3 p.m. available, or is Friday at 6 p.m. better for you? Because when you're available, you're looking at your calendar. Oh, those times don't work. I can do 5 o'clock on Friday. This is the client talking to you, and you're looking at your calendar and you don't have anything. Great. Yes, we can meet at 5 p.m. But we're not going to let them, you're not just going to move everything around. You're going to be very specific. Preset your appointments for the weekend. If you're working on the weekend, work on the weekend. If you're taking a weekend off, be off on the weekend. That's okay. You don't have to work every single weekend. Get with some agent friends, especially during the summertime. Having somebody that you can trade with that covers for you and you cover for them works really well. That way you can have a vacation time. You can also have time to be off on the weekend. So preset those appointment times, and I do that in yellow. Any questions on the time blocking?
Nope.
Awesome. The one metric that you need to be tracking: contacts, conversations had. If your business is not where you want it to be, you're not having enough conversations. And so the metric to start with is 50 conversations every week. 50 conversations should turn into 1 appointment for a newer agent and 2 for an experienced agent. And based on your goals of how much money you want to make and how much income you need to make for the rest of the year, you can book a one-on-one with me to go through all of that math and see how many appointments do I really need to go on to hit my goals. It's all a math equation. And so when I have an agent that I'm coaching and they're having those 50 conversations every week, but they're not getting appointments, I know that there's something going on with that initial conversation. Maybe they're not asking for the appointment. So then I know where you're losing the client, and I know how to coach you, and I know how to help you move that conversation through. Now you come to me and you say, you know what, coach, I have so many other things going on. I just don't have the ability to do 50 conversations in a week. That's okay. You just need to decide, like, are you okay with not seeing the results right away? There's a possibility that you'll get the same results, but then we have a conversation of what can you commit to? I have a gal that I work with, and she's got, a lot going on right now. And so she does 15 conversations a week. But she's happy with where her business is at. She's been doing this for a while, so she's able to get her 1 appointment. If you are in a business building phase and you need transactions, you need to be doing 50 conversations every week to go on 1 appointment. 1 appointment every week, that's 4 a month. You should close 2 of those. If you're going on those appointments and not closing them, then I know we need to dive into that appointment. What are you saying? What are you doing? What are we going through? And you and I will do a mock appointment. We'll record it. Lynette's favorite. And we go through and really work on each individual piece to see, okay, what are you saying? Where are you losing the client? And how can we help you move this transaction and actually start converting? You guys have the ability to do the amount of deals that you want to do and make the amount of money that you want to make. We just need the plan and the activity behind it. We can make a beautiful plan today. You can have everything mapped out, but if you don't do the activity behind it, none of that matters. Okay? Any questions?
Nope.
Awesome. Okay, so we have our database system. I'm going to email you out that guide so that you can have the tagging system. You're going to pick out your next lead generation lever to add into your lead gen. You're going to plan out your marketing touches for the end of the year. And you're going to track the most important metric, which is the conversations. Every Monday, you're going to look at it and go, how many conversations did I have last week? What adjustments do I need to make sure that I'm having the right amount of conversations? And that is all I have for you today. I trust that you learned something and can take it away and implement it right away in your business. Next Thursday, we are doing a deep dive on the database. That's where I'm going to give you the prompt of how to customize those email campaigns and really work into that database. I'll pull some things up to show you in databases are pretty similar. I know you guys all use different ones, but I'll show you some things of some automations to put in. We'll work on those customized campaigns. And then there will be more of a time for questions and hot seat coaching is what I call it. Like if you're having trouble with a transaction or you have questions from the conversations you had this week, I will be available to help you live move those along. And so the schedule, I'll email you out the schedule. I did have that here. Let me see, back to share. Oops. Doesn't want to share. Okay. There it is. The next 7 Thursdays. So next week is database. The following week is on open houses. This will be an open house training like you've never done before. It will be where we're actually setting appointments right from the open house. I have some really cool strategies on how to collect people's information. I actually got it from Brian. He went to a class at a big seminar and he brought it back and I loved it. I've had agents implement it and their signups have gone up from just a standard sign-up sheet where you get like 2 or 3. Agents are getting now 10 to 14, 15 people to sign into their open house. So I'll be sharing that on July 9th. Week 3, yes.
This timeline isn't making sense to me because today's July 2nd.
Oh, you're right. The dates are all off.
Okay. Just making sure because I was like, wait a minute, PCAR is the 3rd week, but that's the 4th week.
Right.
And okay.
So that will get adjusted. This is
so
where
bump everything a week. But yeah,
everything. I'll fix this before emailing it out to you. But this is where AI fails you. Like
You're just showing us the sequence of what we're doing. So I mean, I wasn't tripping on that as much. I just figured you're going, we're doing this today. This is the 2nd thing. This is the 3rd thing. But I see where.
So PCAR is having an amazing training on the 3rd week of July by Jay Shetty, I think is how you say it.
Yeah, okay, say it.
And so for those of you local in the Sacramento area, Roseville area, PCAR on that day. For those of you that are not local, on the next meeting that we have, we'll have everyone share their ahas from that, and then you guys can have some takeaways.
Okay,
The
cool.
fourth session will be social media. We'll be doing a deep dive on that. We'll be doing audits on your bios to make sure that they're SEO optimized. And I'll be giving you how to actually convert business and increase your followers on your social media. Then we're going to do how to work with sellers, how to work with buyers, and then the final session that we do is going to be prepping to like make sure that you've got everything, you've got a transaction going. My goal is by the end of this course, you all have a transaction that you're working on.
Sweet.
If not, then we'll do a one-on-one and see what's going on with you. Any questions?
Nope. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
You're
you, Amber.
welcome. All right, you guys have a fabulous 4th of July.
Yes.
Stay safe. Have fun with your family. If you need anything, I'm just a phone call away. You guys have a fabulous rest of your day, okay?
Thanks,
Thank
Amber.
you.
Amber.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Bye.